Colin, you've joined former Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan on these international roadshows before, although you were not at the latest one. Do you think prior to March 27, the time that he was recalled back to South Africa, do you think that South Africa was still able to dodge the downgrade bullet to junk status?
There's no doubt that over the last 16 months that we had made, since Nenegate, we had made massive progress in terms of the three main pillars on which the investment grade rating was based. Which was fiscal consolidation, and the former finance minister did a fantastic job in that respect in holding the line on the fiscal ratios. On growth, we were starting to see the economic green shoots come through. Goldman Sachs has a 1.5% forecast for South Africa for this year from a 0.3% actual 2016 performance. And with regards to institutional stability and structural reforms, the conveyor belt between us working together, getting structural reforms going, and institutional stability was a reinforcing positive wheel, and we were getting credit for that, and that had effectively helped us throughout that period maintain our investment grade rating. The cabinet reshuffle has upset all of that because it has effectively sent a message that our institutional stability, our ability to maintain our structural reform program and therefore maintain momentum around economic growth is in question. So it's really the actions of President Zuma around the cabinet reshuffle that we have to thank for this downgrade.
Okay. Now that this reality has dawned, does this now make South Africa an investment pariah?
No, what it does is it creates a far greater cost of capital. Obviously, Standard & Poor's is one rating agency. We require two to put us over the junk status bar. At the moment, Moody's have us 2 notches above. Their review is due in a matter of days. It's a question of what they will do with respect to their actions. But if any of Fitch or Moody's is now to downgrade us below investment grade, then formally we lose our investment grade status as a country, and we then become what's known as junk. The immediate implications are we cannot participate in the indices of various bond investors. This will make our bond spreads widen. It will make the cost of capital increase. It will be inflationary in terms of pressure. In turn, food prices and economic growth will suffer. Jobs will suffer. And so this is really bad news for all South Africans.
Now, my understanding is that Standard & Poor's downgraded our international bond as opposed to our domestic bond. Now, even if the domestic bond is not downgraded, doesn't one automatically lead to the other in terms of investor confidence in buying South African bonds?
Yeah, this is a very clear signal from Standard & Poor's, which will be interpreted by the international investors as a negative around South Africa. There's no question that the asset prices that you've seen react since the Standard & Poor's news was made public, with the rand further weakening. We were at 12.30 before the firing of Finance Minister Gordhan. We're now around the 13.80 mark. It was hovering around 13.40 before the news came out of Standard & Poor's. And I'm afraid there's an underlying weakness in our asset prices at this point, because the question is what's next. And, people are very uncertain, and without the certainty that comes with, a government giving leadership, and you would have seen, obviously, COSATU and the SABC have come out calling for President Zuma to step down. So the question marks over the ruling alliance and the ruling party and its leadership are causing a huge amount of uncertainty in the international community.
How significant are those calls from those particular parties, given that they do mobilize workers to vote for the ANC? And does a shifting of Mr. Zuma, for example, from his current position, will that suddenly change everything?
Well, look, I think the view of Business Leadership South Africa, which I'm a board member of, is that we need corrective action from the alliance surrounding its leadership. We need to have a stable ship. We cannot afford these kind of arbitrary and reckless actions to be taken. And certainly a resolution of the leadership will be a key stabilizing factor.
And then ultimately, what is it that South Africa Inc. needs to do for us to begin to walk towards investment grade, at least in Standard & Poor's eyes, do you think?
You know, the average time for countries to regain investment grade when they are downgraded is 7 years. So we have to work very hard to get there. You know, this is the unfortunate reality. We work extremely hard day by day for a long time to maintain and improve the investment grade outlook. It takes one reckless action to destroy it.